Throughout history, certain cultures have served as unlikely repositories of knowledge that seems to transcend their apparent technological limitations. From the astronomical insights of the Dogon people to the sophisticated mechanisms of ancient Greece, these examples suggest that advanced understanding was not lost with hypothetical ancient civilizations, but rather preserved in fragments across the globe. This video examines how mysterious knowledge survived through oral traditions, secret societies, and remarkable artifacts that continue to challenge our assumptions about the capabilities of our ancestors. In the remote villages of Mali, the Dogon people have maintained an oral tradition that includes detailed knowledge of astronomical phenomena invisible to the naked eye. Their cosmology centers around Sirius, which they call Potolo, but their understanding extends far beyond what should be possible without advanced instruments. The Dogon speak of Sirius B, a white dwarf companion star that orbits Sirius A every 50 years. This companion star was not confirmed by Western astronomy until 1970, yet the Dogon have possessed this knowledge for centuries, passing it down through their priests and storytellers. They describe its extreme density, calling it the smallest and heaviest star, and accurately portray its elliptical orbit around the brighter Sirius A. Even more intriguing, the Dogon tradition speaks of a third star in the system, Sirius C, which some astronomers now suspect may exist based on gravitational perturbations observed in the system. Their star maps, drawn in sand during ritual ceremonies, show a level of astronomical precision that would require telescopic observation and mathematical calculations far beyond what conventional archaeology attributes to sub-Saharan African cultures of previous centuries. French anthropologists Marcel Griol and Germaine Dieterlen, who spent decades studying Dogon culture, documented these traditions in the 1940s and 1950s, well before modern astronomy confirmed many of these details. The Dogon elders insisted this knowledge came from their ancestors, who received it from visitors from the Sirius system itself, beings they called the Namo, described as amphibious teachers who brought civilization to Earth. The Mediterranean has yielded artifacts that demonstrate sophisticated technological capabilities in the ancient world. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, represents perhaps the most complex piece of ancient technology ever found. This bronze device, dating to approximately 100 BCE, functions as an analog computer capable of predicting the positions of the sun, moon, and planets with remarkable accuracy. X-ray tomography and modern analysis have revealed the mechanism's intricate system of at least 37 bronze gears, each precisely cut and calibrated. The device could predict eclipses, track the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games, and follow the 19-year metonic cycle that governs lunar phases. Its sophistication rivals clockwork mechanisms that wouldn't appear in Europe again until the 14th century CE. The Dogon educational system, centered around the Awa Society and other ritual organizations, maintains this astronomical knowledge through carefully structured initiation processes. Knowledge is revealed gradually over decades, with the most profound secrets reserved for the highest-ranking priests and elders. This system has preserved complex information for at least 700 years and possibly much longer. The Dogon describe their knowledge as inherited from the earliest times, when their ancestors received instruction from the Nomo. These teachers are depicted in Dogon art as fish-like beings who emerged from the sky in a spinning arc that landed with great noise and wind. The Nomo taught the Dogon about astronomy, agriculture, and social organization before returning to their home in the Sirius system. What makes this tradition particularly compelling is its internal consistency and technical accuracy. The Dogon describes Sirius B's orbital period as 50 years, remarkably close to the actual period of 49.9 years. They know that Sirius B is composed of matter heavier than iron, and they correctly describe its orbit as elliptical rather than circular. These details could not have been observed without powerful telescopes and spectroscopic analysis. The Dogon also speak of a third star in the system, which they call Ma, or Sirius C. While this star has not been definitively confirmed by modern astronomy, some researchers have detected gravitational perturbations in the Sirius system that suggest the presence of a third body, possibly a red dwarf star or large planet. The Dogon have encoded their astronomical knowledge not only in oral tradition, but also in the physical layout of their villages and sacred sites. The arrangement of buildings, shrines, and ceremonial spaces reflects their understanding of celestial mechanics. Village layouts mirror the structure of the Sirius system, with key buildings positioned to represent the orbital relationships between the stars. Their calendar system incorporates multiple celestial cycles, including the Sirius B orbital period, lunar months, and solar years. Ritual ceremonies are timed to coincide with specific astronomical events, demonstrating practical application of their theoretical knowledge. The Dogon track precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis that causes the apparent position of stars to shift over thousands of years, and use this knowledge to maintain accurate long-term calendars. The Bandiagra cliffs themselves serve as a massive astronomical observatory. Specific rock formations, caves, and cliff faces are used to mark solstices, equinoxes, and the heliacal rising of important stars. The Dogon have identified and named numerous stars and constellations invisible to casual observation, many of which correspond precisely to modern astronomical catalogs. The Dogon are not unique in preserving advanced astronomical knowledge through oral tradition. Similar examples exist among other indigenous cultures worldwide, suggesting a broader pattern of ancient knowledge preservation. The Australian Aboriginal peoples maintain songlines that encode sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics and navigation. Their Dreamtime stories contain accurate descriptions of stellar evolution, including the life cycles of stars and the formation of neutron stars. Archaeological evidence suggests these traditions may be 65,000 years old, making them among the oldest continuous knowledge systems on Earth. Native American tribes possess detailed astronomical knowledge embedded in their ceremonial cycles and architectural traditions. The Lakota speak of the Wolf Trail, Milky Way, in terms that demonstrate understanding of galactic structure. Pueblo astronomy includes knowledge of planetary cycles and stellar positions that require generations of careful observation to accumulate. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist texts contain cosmological descriptions that align remarkably with modern astrophysics. The Puranas describe universe cycles spanning billions of years and cosmic structures of incredible scale and complexity. These traditions, like the Dogon system, suggest access to observational capabilities or theoretical frameworks far beyond what conventional history attributes to ancient peoples. The evidence suggests that advanced knowledge was preserved not by individual cultures in isolation, but through networks of communication and exchange that spanned continents and millennia. Trade routes, migration patterns, and cultural exchanges created opportunities for knowledge transfer between distant civilizations. The Dogon tradition may represent one node in this larger network of preservation. Their knowledge could have originated from contact with other advanced cultures, from inherited traditions dating to much earlier civilizations, or from ongoing contact with sources of knowledge that conventional archaeology has not recognized. Similar preservation networks can be identified in other regions. The mathematical and astronomical knowledge that spread from India to the Islamic world and eventually to medieval Europe followed established trade and cultural exchange routes. The megalithic building traditions that appeared across Europe, Africa, and the Americas may represent another example of widespread knowledge transmission. The Dogon case, along with similar examples worldwide, challenges fundamental assumptions about the development of human knowledge and the capabilities of ancient civilizations. If semi-nomadic peoples in medieval Mali possessed accurate knowledge of binary star systems and quantum mechanical principles, what does this suggest about the true history of human intellectual achievement? The preservation of such knowledge through oral tradition demonstrates the sophistication of non-literate educational systems and challenges Western biases about the superiority of written culture. The Dogon have maintained complex technical information for centuries without books, using instead elaborate ritual systems, symbolic art, and carefully structured initiation processes. This suggests that much of what we consider lost knowledge from ancient civilizations may not be lost at all, but rather preserved in forms that modern scholarship has not learned to recognize or decode. Indigenous traditions worldwide may contain scientific and technical knowledge that predates and, in some cases, exceeds the achievements of classical antiquity. This knowledge was not randomly distributed, but carefully preserved by specific groups who understood its value and the necessity of protecting it through turbulent historical periods. The guardians of this forbidden knowledge, from Dogon priests to mystery school initiates, served as links in a chain of transmission that spans millennia. Their dedication to preserving these teachings through the rise and fall of empires has left us with tantalizing glimpses of capabilities that challenge our understanding of human development. The Dogon people, in their remote villages along the Bandiagara cliffs, represent one of the most compelling examples of this preservation tradition, keepers of stellar knowledge that should have been impossible to obtain, yet has proven accurate in every detail that modern science can verify. The Dogon people's impossible astronomical knowledge stands as perhaps the most enigmatic example of ancient wisdom preserved against all odds. Their tradition suggests that the story of human civilization may be far more complex and ancient than conventional archaeology admits, and that profound knowledge of the cosmos has been carefully guarded by indigenous peoples whose true achievements remain largely unrecognized by mainstream scholarship. In the quiet villages along the Bandiagara cliffs, under the same stars their ancestors observed for centuries, the Dogon elders continue to pass down their sacred knowledge. They speak of visitors from distant worlds, of cosmic cycles spanning eons, and of truths hidden from the uninitiated. As we stand at the threshold of our own space age, discovering exoplanets and mapping the cosmos with unprecedented precision, we must ask ourselves, what if the ancients knew far more than we ever imagined? What if the real question is not how they could have known such things, but rather, what else did they know that we have yet to rediscover?